everyone. Happy Whine Wednesday. Thank you for joining me for a glass of wine or to whine about your dog, whichever is your personal preference. For those of you who haven't tuned into Whine Wednesday before, this is a Facebook Live that we do, and then we later put it on our YouTube page. So what we typically do is we talk about questions that we've received throughout the week from people. So either comments or messages, different things like that, tips that we think would be beneficial to people based on those questions. So that's what we kind of cover on Whine Wednesday. I do hope everyone is, well, my thing kind of lost just for a second there. The joys of going live, I guess. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a good and safe week and enjoying a glass of wine like I am. So it's definitely been kind of a different time staying at home and just, you know, not really getting to connect with people out in the real world. So that's been kind of hard for us. So we're doing good though. We're, you know, staying safe, washing our hands, all that good stuff that they suggest. And we have been doing lots of virtual training. And I'm in the process. Today, I'm going to look at updating kind of a program so that we can move our group training over into that format as well. So we're really, really excited about that. And we'll be sending emails and messages out to our clients probably tomorrow with those details, because I just need to do the update right now, see how that goes, and do a little trial run. Hey Molly, thanks for joining in. I'm at a funny angle today, so you guys can't see, but my hand moving here is me, of course, petting the cat. Those of you who have tuned into Whine Wednesday before will know that Callie Cat likes to join in and harass me throughout the video. That's basically what she does. She cries at me, she crawls all over me, and yeah, I might be good at training dogs, not so much at training cats. So that's kind of how she is. So I don't know about everyone else. I was going to talk about what I've been doing a little bit during this time of social distancing before I get into the dog training part. So I've been working on doing some house cleaning. I think that that's a pretty, based on people's, you know, Facebook posts and things like that, I think that's a pretty common thing that a lot of people seem to be kind of focused on. But I am taking this time to kind of, I love organization and I love declutter. So I've been taking time to do some things like that. I'm not necessarily happy with all of it because one of my objectives for this spring was actually to rip up the carpet that's on the stairway to the upstairs of the house. And I was going to paint the whole main floor of the house and lay new floor. So I've been a little eager about that, but that will have to wait until my little lockdown is over. So yeah, in the meantime, I've been doing kind of cleaning, decluttering. There's something really satisfactory about throwing things out. I don't know if that's just me, but I just, I love like clean, clear space, no clutter. It really has an effect on my mind when there's a lot of kind of clutter and stuff around. So I am happy that I have some time to work on that. So tomorrow's goal is my home office. So that's where I film a Whine Wednesday at, is here in my office. So I'm going to go through this room. So this room has a lot of stuff in it. I should do a video and show you guys sometime. So we kind of have like a whole section that's like my glam section where I do my makeup and have all my jewelry. I have a desk and stuff set up here. I've kind of got bookshelves and things. So there's kind of a lot in here to go through, but I am excited. And then of course the dreaded filing cabinet. I think that's why I've left this room to one of the last, is I just don't want to go through the filing cabinet. I'm sure there's lots of things there I'm going to have to rip up and get rid of. So, but I think that's what a lot of people have been working on, is a lot of cleaning and decluttering and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, but thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to get to the dog training component of today's video. Hey Melanie, I hope all is well with you. So if you're watching the replay of this video, please give us kind of a like and comment. We love your support. So I was kind of thinking about posts I had made this week And even last week, hey Danielle. Oh, thanks. Danielle says she loves my lipstick. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been putting a lot of makeup on, obviously, because I'm just staying at home, except for Whine Wednesday. So I literally had been messaging with some people, and I was like, I feel a little pep in my step since I put some makeup on today. I should maybe do that more often during this lockdown. So this week, I had done a post about working with distractions. So that was the objective of the post at the time, was about using distractions while practicing kind of commands with your dog, and the expectation that your dog should still hold that command until basically you say otherwise, regardless what kind of distraction is there. And then through some discussions and messages and stuff I had from people regarding the distractions thing, I realized that a lot of people, especially people with puppies right now, are worried about the socialization aspect with their dog. So a lot of people are kind of worried that they're not getting to do that, I don't want to use the word proper socialization, but what the things that they think their dog is going to need to be a happy, well-balanced dog, which is a legitimate concern. When we bring a puppy home here, or we have one in for training, we do all kinds of different things. But what I want to say to alleviate some of people's concerns about this puppy socialization during this time is that socialization means more than just dogs being around other people and other dogs. Okay, so this is something I say to all of my clients, and basically it's that socialization is all the various different environments that they're around. So that can be different surfaces, different noises, different smells, all that good stuff is socialization. So don't get too hung up on the lack of dogs around or people around. I definitely, we're just in a kind of different time right now, so you're not really able to do those things. You can work on those as time goes on. Like once things settle, that is definitely something you can do. But remember that socialization is more than just that. It's more than just proper dog play. Those are the kind of things we think about. If you Google puppy or dog socialization, that's what you'll get. You'll get, posts about dog parks or letting your dog greet another dog, but that's not what I actually deem socialization to be. And like I said, that's something I talk to all of my clients about. Socialization is getting them used to all kinds of different environments, smells, sounds, okay? So there's lots that you can do even during this time period. So I don't want you to feel discouraged or anything like that. There is so much we can do to help your dog. So for example, so socialization, you can still walk around your neighborhood, things like that, okay? So depending on where you live, so I live in a pretty busier area. If you live in the Sydney area or any of the kind of towns like that, Sydney, Glace Bay, North Sydney, you are really going to probably have people walking by, possibly other dogs, and you're going to have traffic, okay? So that is all socialization. You're getting your dog to adjust to all of those situations, okay? So obviously, present situation, I don't recommend that you let them play with another dog or another person touch them. Yes, Melanie. Melanie just said it's like kids socialization. It is. It's really funny. I don't have kids, but I use them as examples all of the time. So anyone who does training with me knows I'm constantly comparing things to children, even though I don't have any, because there's a lot of very similar things. So take your dog out around the neighborhood. Even if you live in a more rural area, you're probably at least going to have a little bit of traffic. Or, choosing to take that path that's going to have a little bit more traffic. So that is good socialization. Having them out there, having them experience, the traffic, people walking by, noises, doors slamming, any and all of that kind of stuff, okay? Additionally, taking them in the vehicle when you're going places. Now, I assume many of you are like me, and you're not really going anywhere. I'm I'm literally going nowhere. I order my groceries online. Jason goes and picks them up. They get delivered to the car. However, he could, if we needed to be working on it, take the dog in the vehicle with him. So that would be another way to work on socialization. You'd be getting the dog comfortable in the vehicle. You'd be teaching them where they're supposed to be in the vehicle, how they're supposed to behave. They're going to feel, you know, what's the word, like the vibration of the vehicle, the movement of it, the different noises, the speed. We have had many rural clients that never put their dogs in vehicles and then would come to us for training, and the dogs were actually getting motion sickness. So this is a great thing to work on. But that's socialization, experiencing that, okay? Walking on different surfaces. So this is something we also talk about. Oh, Shelly, I'm going to answer that question one sec. So walking on different surfaces is definitely another key part of socialization, okay? So what I mean by that is walking on concrete, walking on grass, gravel, pavement, wood. One of the reasons we train at the municipal building is because of the, it's brick, so it's a different surface. But then the boardwalk is wooden, so we're able to use that. So that's also proper socialization. We run into lots of dogs that have never been on pavement before and panic when their owners are trying to get them out of their vehicle. So that's proper socialization. I know we want to do the fun stuff, which is have them play with other dogs and have people hug them and have people tell them how adorable they are. That's not necessarily feasible right now. So in the meantime, focus on this other socialization. The other thing is going to be noise. So I did kind of mention this in my distraction post this week. I talked about, you know, using YouTube. That's one of like the key things I do. Use YouTube to make different noises. If you have a dog that's uncomfortable with, you know, thunder and lightning, use YouTube. Loud noises, other animals, dogs barking. You can find any and all of that on YouTube. And that's also socialization, teaching your dog to still be calm around those different unfamiliar things, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Shelly asked a really good question that I'm going to go back to. So when I talked about the vehicle, Shelly had asked, what about doggy seatbelts, yay or nay? So I think that's a great question. And I'm not opposed to them. I kind of have a couple of different things. One, I am a firm believer that it's really great if from the moment you get the dog, you're teaching them where you want them to be in the vehicle. So you might get, and this is popping in my head because I can see that Sandy joined it. So he's got a German Shepherd. So you might get an adorable German Shepherd puppy and you know, which is obviously going to turn into a big dog, and you get them and you're always letting them ride in the passenger seat, on someone's lap, whatever. That's not going to be feasible forever. So you want to, from the beginning, be thinking, where do I want this dog to be? So many people, you know, who watch our videos know that we have 3 smaller dogs. So we actually use carriers in the vehicle. So in the back seat of my vehicle, the 3 carriers are lined up and actually buckled in with a regular seatbelt. So our dogs are trained to get into them and lay down. Okay, so that's what they do. The seatbelt, if that's what works for you, there's nothing wrong with it. You want it to be sized correctly. You still want to be giving them instruction. You don't want them to be having the seatbelt on, but they're still straining a lot, you know, trying to move forward, anything along those lines. But there are some really great ones out there on the market that can definitely assist you in teaching your dog where to be in the vehicle. Especially since if it's something you haven't previously taught your dog, I'm going to let you in on a secret. It's much easier to teach your dog something brand new than to go and try and break a bad habit, okay? So if you get a puppy and you're like, oh, here's where you're supposed to be, and you're rewarding them and you're teaching them, that typically tends to be pretty easy. Every dog is different. Obviously, it's not super easy for everyone, but it can be easier, okay? When your dog begins to age and you're like, oh, I don't like this, and you're trying to rectify it, it takes more repetitions to break that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you're trying to get through the mindset that they have that they're allowed to do this, okay? So seatbelt, if that's what kind of works for you and it's going to keep them in their spot, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You just want to get a good quality one, you know, one that's going to kind of latch on appropriately, not going to snap, different things like that. And what I try to explain to people about dogs and the vehicle, like, I'm not a huge advocate of dogs kind of even being in the front of the vehicle. And it's mainly because if, God forbid, someone got into an accident and, you know, the airbags go off, so on, it is going to either severely harm or worse your dog, okay? So that's why I'm really not a fan of them in the front seat, on our laps in the front, anything like that. I really like to create a spot for the dogs in the back. So, you know, for me, that's them all in their carriers. They are strapped in, just like we were talking about my comparisons to kids, just like you put your kids in a car seat. So, yeah, to answer that question, I'm not opposed to the seatbelts. You just want to get a good quality one and still be working on teaching the dog that that's where they're supposed to be. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that question. So I want you guys to get out and work on your proper socialization, okay? So yes, we're basically locked down. There are limited things we can do. Socialization doesn't mean playing with other dogs and meeting people. It means letting your dog experience different things in life. Like I said, walking on different surfaces, different noises, using programs like YouTube to create noises, closing cupboards a little abruptly, like anything you can kind of think of. We've dealt with dogs who have had some of the most unusual fears. So it is really great if you can work on these things early on in your dog's development. So don't get hung up that due to all this, we can't go and we can't let them play and they're not being socialized properly. There's a lot to socialization and there's a lot that you can still do, okay? I didn't even tell you what wine I'm drinking today. I think due to my lockdown, I'm pretty sure most of my wine is going to be a Pinot Grigio lately because I bought it by the box. So that's what's going on with my wine for Whine Wednesday. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you take my advice on socialization. Get out in your yard, let the dog experience different things in that kind of safe environment. And yeah, report back to us. Let us know how it's going.